Hey you guys, my name's Tiffany Feathers and I was asked to tell you a little bit about my health journey. Everything really started to take off about 6 months after my daughter was born. I was around an average, still kind of heavyweight for my height of 5'3" with my shoes on when I got pregnant with my daughter. And then I only gained 18 pounds during the pregnancy. So really it wasn't too much weight that I put on. But right after the pregnancy, all of it dropped. There was, it was all baby. So that was super simple. Within the few months after having my daughter, all of the weight came back. Even to the point where I actually weighed more than I did on my delivery day. So I was super round and carrying so much weight on such a small frame that I finally decided when she was about 6 months old that I couldn't say that I had just had a baby anymore. So I started treating going and working out like it was a job. Now, originally I had kind of tried to work out at home. I tried doing the Wii Fit, which had just come out. So I was trying to play little games and stuff. And I was, but I stayed pretty busy as far as keeping the house clean and taking care of the animals and the baby, obviously. But no matter what, it wasn't like an actual workout. So I started every morning going to the gym at the same time that my husband left for work. So we would both leave the house at the same time. And sometimes at the gym, I would just hang out in the childcare with the sitter there for hours. But I would try to make sure that I spent at least 20 minutes on either like the elliptical or lifting weights. And no matter what, I knew that it was more than if I had just stayed home. After a few months of doing that, I started to see some results, but not really. So I finally took a camera to my husband and said, take a picture. And I stripped down to my skivvies and had him literally take a photo of me in nothing but a bra and panties because I needed to see exactly what my body looked like. That was difficult in itself. I cried for probably the entire rest of that day, just kind of seeing where my body had gotten. And that was really a tough pill to swallow, just to kind of see the reality of it. I decided that I was definitely going to be making a change. I cleaned out the kitchen from all the sugary snacks, drink mixes, all that kind of mess, and just really started focusing on health, not just weight loss, but really overall health. So cleaned everything out, restocked the kitchen with good stuff, and really focused on getting my workouts in and really putting in a lot more effort on my workouts. Then a few months later, I swore up and down I couldn't see any difference. My husband swore up and down he could. So I broke out the camera again. I said, okay, take another picture. So he did, and then we put the pictures side by side, and I ended up crying all over again just to see that my body really was changing and that there was a lot of stuff going on in a positive way, which was great. So these were more happy tears than the really depressed, sad ones the first time. But then I ended up having him take pictures every month so that I could really see the progress that I was making. And within about 10 months, I dropped right around 70 pounds. So it was a drastic change, especially when I'm literally really short. So percentage-wise, for my body size and weight, 70 pounds in a 10-month period is a lot of weight to lose on a small frame in such a small amount of time. It took me much longer than 10 months to gain as much weight as I had, but I got down to about 116 pounds at 5'3", which is technically considered an average weight for someone who is 5'3". However, I was down to a size 0. I started working with a local nutrition company. I was one of their success stories. You can see the link down below. I'll share that. But that was just a crazy transformation, but it was amazing and it was fun and I really enjoyed it. I had a completely new life. I became a certified personal trainer and boot camp instructor. I was, working with the nutrition company, and everything I did was based around the fitness industry and the health industry. And so I led boot camps 6 days a week, which I participated in. And then I also had personal training clients. And then I also went to the gym myself. So I was working out once, if not twice a day, most days of the week. And then I ate measured out meals at least 6 times a day. I drank a gallon of water every single day. So everything was very regimented. Everything was very, measured out and ready to go. About 4 years into that process, I was training with a trainer as well as still doing my own boot camps and stuff in the evenings, still training clients, but I noticed that my clothes weren't fitting the same. And one day I finally had to call in and say, I'm not coming in to train. And he asked why, and I said, it's real simple, my pants don't fit. At that point, everything changed. I started gaining weight very quickly, and within 6 months had packed on 30 pounds. And then I didn't know what to do with myself. And then over the next year, I gained another 30 pounds, and I ended up ending my business, which was a very difficult decision, but we got flooded with our first flood that year, and I was just I didn't feel healthy, I didn't look healthy, I knew something was wrong. Another year went by, I gained another 30 pounds, and then we got flooded again. So I had packed on 90 pounds, and we had been flooded twice. And I was still going in and out of doctor's offices trying to figure out what on earth was wrong with my body. And doctors would not listen. First, one of the doctors told me that I just didn't realize what I was eating, that, maybe I didn't understand how all of this worked. And I found that extremely ironic because that literally was what I did for my job. I helped other people do the same thing that I had done. I helped other people lose weight and get healthy. And everything that I was doing, because I was still working out the same and I still was eating the same kinds of meals, and it wasn't working. Eating healthy and working out wasn't working. And no matter what I ate, I just kept gaining nonstop. And another doctor told me that, yes, my cortisol levels were high, but I just needed to calm down. So maybe I should try taking up yoga or something. I had another doctor tell me that I needed to have my stomach stapled, which was crazy, especially when I finally had to sit down and just take myself out of the situation and go, this is insane. This is absolutely insane. And the fact that I even considered doing it just completely made me even more upset, because instead of trying to figure out what the actual problem was, the doctor was just trying to put a patch on it. And putting me through surgery was his patch, and I thought that was just crazy. Then I went to a center for health and wellness, and they pretty much just told me to eat grass-fed, all organic meat and nothing but vegetables and that meat. And so pretty much an Atkins diet, but I also knew that that's not a well-rounded meal plan. That's not a well-rounded diet. That kind of raised some red flags to me, and they had me on tons of supplements. I mean, tons. I was taking probably 20 capsules of things a day, and I knew that that wasn't right. I wanted some kind of whole way of eating where I didn't need to take tons of vitamins all the time throughout my day. It was insane. I was taking more capsules than I was regular food. It was absurd. I started doing my own research, hardcore, really looking into anything that I could. And I started looking into blood types, diets, and I started looking into hormones, and I started looking into illnesses, things that started raising red flags to me. I started researching those even more to make sure which ones actually applied to me and which ones didn't. And finally, I looked again to try to see if I could just find one last doctor to really look into my case. And I found a doctor. On the review that I read for her, it used the word detective, and that was it. I knew immediately that I needed to call her. Her name is Dr. Julie Yellen, Yelin. She is an actual MD, and she specializes in hormones, and I cannot tell you how much this woman has changed my life. It was amazing. I showed up for that first session, filled out a bunch of paperwork before I even went. I got there, she asked tons more questions. I cried the most of the entire hour just about, where my life had gone over the past few years, how frustrated I was about the whole process. And she sat there and just looked at me and she's like, okay, I want to touch your hand. You're wearing a jacket. Why are you wearing a jacket? It is hot as the dickens in here. I'm sweating. How are you wearing a jacket? And started asking me different kinds of questions. And she goes, okay, here's what I know. And here's what we're going to do from here. She said, we're going to have 2 different kinds of blood tests on you. I'm going to run the regular blood test that the other doctors have ran. And then I'm also going to run one that is a specialized blood test that tells me exactly how the cells are processing the vitamins that they get. She wanted a baseline of exactly where my body was at. And she goes, here's my assumption. You have no testosterone, no progesterone, and no thyroid. None. We go and I have the blood tests done and I go back to her office 4 weeks later. Everything was exactly as she had predicted. And then I also found out that I have PCOS, which is a huge ordeal. And I'll put a link to a video about PCOS up here, about some of the symptoms that I all lined up very clearly that showed I straight up had PCOS. And Dr. Yellen also had PCOS. So she kind of sat down and was like, this is very manageable. There is no cure for PCOS. By the way, if you don't know what it stands for, it's polycystic ovarian syndrome. The problem is everybody thinks it only deals with the ovaries because that's in the PCOS, but it's a syndrome, which means it affects your whole system. So everything was kind of finally laid out on the table of what all was going on in my body. And to finally know that I wasn't crazy was amazing. Just to kind of get that feedback from someone to say, you've been through a lot of hell and I don't know why. None of those other doctors made any sense. Thank goodness you didn't go through with what the one doctor said about getting your stomach stapled. And it was such a relief to finally get some answers. And then we started working with my hormones. And over the first year of working with her and replacing my hormones and getting things kind of figured out, not only did I stop gaining weight, I actually lost 20 pounds that first year, which was huge. Absolutely huge. And it was such a relief to finally see something working. Now I'm still working with Dr. Yellen, and now I go back at less frequent intervals. I only see her about every 6 months or so to kind of check up on where I am, and my health is finally going in a positive direction again. Do I ever expect to be a size 0 again? No, I don't. At that point, my teeth looked kind of big. My head started to look a little big for my body at that point. Size 4 would be kind of nice. Just knowing that the body is an amazing machine. And even through all the junk that I went through for all of those 3 years of just gaining nonstop and going in and out of doctors, and be your own advocate. I mean, that is one of the biggest things I can say is you've got to be your own advocate. You have to really pay attention to what's going on in your body. My husband, luckily, is very honest with me, and so we kind of both sat there and he goes, I know that you're putting in the time, like you're doing the workouts. I see what you eat, like you're eating really healthy. What is going on? So to have somebody else kind of sitting there as a third party going, I can see that you're doing your part and this isn't working. What's wrong? Because one of his biggest things was always, what would you tell a client? If you're having this situation and this isn't working, what would you tell a client? And if you're eating healthy and you're working out, you're staying active, you're drinking all your water, you're getting good rest, what would you tell a client? Go to a doctor. And when the doctors aren't giving you answers that make sense and they aren't being detectives and really trying to figure out what's going on, find a different doctor. That's as simple as it goes. Don't stop until you find one who will actually work with you to figure out what is going on, because it makes the world of difference, and every single day is affected by how you feel in your own body. You do everything with this thing, and especially when you have kids and a job, it is insane when you sit there and think about the fact that you just kind of put your health on the back burner and allow your health to just take a nosedive while you try to scramble and take care of everything else. Don't do that. Take care of yourself, take care of your body. Your health matters. Everything is tied to how you feel every single day. There is light at the end of the tunnel if you just don't stop. Don't stop fighting. Figure out what is going on with your body. If you ever don't understand, keep a journal, keep a notebook, write down what you've got, take pictures of your food. That way you're also completely honest with yourself about what it is that you're doing every day, because it makes a huge difference. Luckily now I'm working out again, I'm eating good meals, I'm vegan now, so it's been another kind of whirlwind. So being vegan has kind of been a very new endeavor as far as getting healthy without eating any kind of turkey or chicken or eggs, which I used to eat a ton of before when I lost weight the first time. So this is a completely different way of doing this, but it is a healthier way, especially for me, and I know that it's the right choice, and I'm finally reaping the benefits of it. So I hope that everybody else has a wonderful, happy, and healthy life. If you have any questions, please feel free to send me any messages that you have, leave comments, tag me if you want, it's fine. I am more than happy to answer any questions that you guys have. I welcome questions because that's how you get answers. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I hope to see more of y'all's journey as well on this whole thing going on. So, bye.